Imagine a sound you can't hear, but your body can feel. A frequency so subtle, yet so powerful, that it manipulates your emotions without you even realizing it. It's not science fiction, it's real, and it's called 37 Hertz. This seemingly harmless sound frequency lurks just below the threshold of human perception, and yet it has the ability to stir deep feelings of unease, anxiety, and fear. Today, we're diving into the dark world of 37 Hertz, uncovering how this frequency affects you in ways you may never have noticed. It may seem like just another number on a sound spectrum, but 37 Hertz is far more dangerous and influential than you could ever imagine. Have you ever felt a sudden sense of dread, anxiety, or fear for no apparent reason? What if I told you that a hidden frequency like 37 Hertz could be responsible? You see, this particular frequency is not only capable of unsettling your mind, but it can also influence your physiology. The frequency of 37 Hertz, when exposed to humans over time, subtly manipulates your brain, triggering physical and psychological reactions. But the real danger lies in how this frequency is used in places you wouldn't expect. You might have heard of infrasound, the type of sound that's below the range of human hearing, anything below 20 Hertz. This sound is often associated with feelings of dread and discomfort, but 37 Hertz is a little different. It's on the cusp of being audible, and though it doesn't immediately scare you like a loud, harsh noise, it slowly creeps into your psyche, making you feel uneasy in a way that's hard to explain. Scientific studies have shown that certain frequencies, including 37 Hertz, affect human physiology, inducing reactions that can feel almost like a wave of fear, anxiety, or even nausea. Researchers have observed how low frequencies, especially between 30–100 Hertz, can disrupt cognitive and emotional processes. But what's fascinating is how 37 Hertz is perfectly positioned in that range to trigger such responses, even though it's technically within the audible spectrum. It's not just about hearing it, it's about feeling it. The influence of low-frequency sounds isn't just restricted to laboratory tests or theoretical research. It's also used in real-world scenarios, particularly in horror films. You've probably experienced that growing sense of discomfort while watching a thriller or horror movie, a feeling that something bad is about to happen, even though you haven't seen any visual cues yet. That unease you feel is often the result of carefully crafted soundscapes that use low frequencies like 37 Hertz to build tension. It's subtle, almost imperceptible, but it triggers your subconscious mind, making you feel uncomfortable, anxious, and fearful without you even understanding why. This is why horror directors love using low-frequency sounds to induce fear in the audience. The frequency of 37 Hertz doesn't need to be loud to be effective. Its power lies in its ability to subtly affect the listener's emotional state, making them feel on edge as they watch the story unfold. But it's not just Hollywood that's been using this frequency for manipulation. In fact, military forces have been researching and experimenting with low-frequency sound waves, including 37 Hertz, for various non-lethal purposes. One example is the potential use of infrasound as a psychological weapon. By emitting certain low-frequency sounds, like those between 30–50 Hertz, military forces could potentially disorient and incapacitate individuals or crowds. In fact, some studies suggest that the right combination of frequencies can cause nausea, headaches, and even disorientation. These frequencies can essentially disrupt the normal functioning of the brain, leaving you vulnerable to influence. But the scariest part? You might not even know you're being affected. Now imagine a frequency like 37 Hertz being used in a controlled environment, a space like a public area or a military setting, designed to trigger specific emotional or physiological responses in people without their knowledge. The most frightening part of all this is how subtle the effects of 37 Hz can be. It doesn't shout or scream at you. It doesn't create obvious physical sensations like a loud explosion or a piercing siren. Instead, it quietly feeds into your subconscious, making you feel uncomfortable, even fearful, without any clear cause. You might think you're just having a bad day, but the reality is, 37 Hz could be at work, influencing your mood in ways you can't immediately identify. And what about the countless reports of unexplained phenomena in various locations around the world? Many people claim to experience a sense of unease or discomfort in certain spots, whether it's a haunted house, a remote location, or even in the middle of nowhere. Could it be possible that 37 Hz is contributing to these sensations? Studies have documented an eerie occurrence known as the haunted hum, which describes a low-frequency hum that can be heard in certain areas. While the hum is typically associated with a frequency around 20-50 Hz, it's conceivable that 37 Hz could be a culprit behind some of these disturbing encounters. In fact, some researchers suggest that the presence of low-frequency sounds like 37 Hz could be linked to the strange feelings of dread and anxiety experienced by people who visit these locations. But let's take a moment to step back and think about how often we encounter low-frequency sounds in our daily lives. While we don't hear them directly, we're constantly surrounded by devices and infrastructures that emit these vibrations. Consider the hum of electrical equipment, the vibrations from heavy machinery, or the sound of traffic. All these factors contribute to the invisible soundscape that surrounds us. And while we may not hear these low frequencies, our bodies certainly feel them. The more we're exposed to them, the more our emotional and psychological states may begin to shift. What if 37As and other low-frequency sounds are subtly influencing our lives in ways we can't comprehend? Imagine feeling like something's just not right, but being unable to pinpoint the reason. That sense of unease, the anxiety that creeps up out of nowhere, it might not just be stress or mood swings. It could be the result of 37 Hz operating in the background, pulling the strings behind the scenes. So, what does this mean for us? Should we be afraid of 37 Hz? The truth is, it's not necessarily harmful in short bursts, but prolonged exposure to these frequencies can have a significant impact on mental and emotional health. With the growing awareness of the effects of sound and vibrations on our bodies, it's important to be conscious of the spaces we inhabit and the technologies we use. We may never fully understand the extent to which these frequencies affect us, but one thing is clear. 37 Hz is a frequency that should not be underestimated. The next time you feel uneasy for no reason, when fear or anxiety seem to rise out of nowhere, just remember that it might not be all in your head. It could be the hidden force of 37 Hz, subtly manipulating your emotions and your environment, whether it's used in horror films, military experiments, or simply the world around us. 37 Hz is a frequency you can't escape, even though you may never fully hear it.